if application done in more cost-effective way. For example, a person who is working on during daytime, okay, can manage it, we can reduce the cost. So cost reduction is one major plan of software project management. So we need to provide, okay, how we going to manage our cost within this project, how the tools are going to support in this scenario. So that is like the cost management. And the next final big thing is the quality. Okay, how we gonna manage, using tools and environments. What is the quality factors of our project? How do we manage the quality? Okay, so do you guys have any experience? What do you understand by a quality product? Okay, how do you manage quality? What are the environments or tools that you can manage quality? How do you do quality in a single product? What are the things? It shouldn't be like software. Like, give me a general idea on how do we maintain quality in a product? How do we maintain quality in a product? And what sort of tools and environments that we can make sure that the project is a quality product? What are the things that we can utilize on that scenario? Yes? So in a quality product, okay, what are the measurements that we're going to do? Say, for example, there are like to manage quality, we have certain certifications. Okay, we can get certified by different certifications. For example, sometimes we need to make sure our data is protected. Okay, our data is protected in a way. So how do we make that? How do we make that quality decision? Simply, we can use tools like security assessments. Okay, so we can write security vulnerable scanning tools, and we can check the project is not getting any vulnerabilities out there. Okay, so we can use those tools and manage the quality of our project. Okay, so the tools that we can manage quality is like security tools that can be doing security audits every day, checking whether our application is up to the quality codes, and we can submit that and we can get a quality assurance. We have passed all your quality requirements. Now we are like approved to be have running best practices. There are certain certificate that we can accomplish by doing so. Okay, we are ISO this certified. Okay, by gaining ISO certification, at least in Sri Lanka, we get a recognition. Okay, we have the quality of information security. We have the quality of maintaining our code in a way. So we can manage that kind of thing by using the quality factors. Okay, so these are the tools that we can always run to manage and maintain the quality factor. Okay, so there are other things that we can use for provide tools or things to manage a quality product. So if you know, the quality of the product is most of the time depending on how good the code is and how good the testing of that functionality is. Okay, so we need to test thoroughly within our application in order to get a quality assurance. Okay, say for example, if you have a product that we need to constantly check for quality, we can use automated tools for that. we have automation tools that check the quality of the product each and every time that we do some sort of feature enhancement, feature development, bug fixes, or whatever. So the quality factor of a project is going to be doing a lot of automation tasks and automation testing. Okay, so we'll discuss these things in much more broader detail, how we can maintain quality, how we maintain cost, all these things by using tools and environment. Just for now, by using the project management practice, we know, okay, we need tools to plan it, we can monitor it, we can track it, we can manage schedule, whatever we do it, we can get a quality assurance on that. Okay, that's how we're going to make sure our application is a quality product. Okay, all right. And the next part is PM provide a history or metrics based for the future planning as well as good documentation. Yes, as I mentioned earlier, uh, uh, by monitoring, by tracking, we can get a history or we can get a metrics. What are the reasons that we have used? What are the timing that we have done correctly? Uh, what are the things that we estimated correctly? What are the things we estimated wrong? What are the things that we could get much more faster and how we did it? Okay, so all of these things can be documented. Okay, and if somebody comes in and they have a good idea of, okay, if for example, if somebody is coming for the project and he's saying, okay, I don't know how estimation is going on, we can say, hey, look at the project documentation, or at least the project management documentation. You will get an idea how we did it, how we are doing those things. So it's going to be easy for a newcomer or a person who is joining, or even for a future project, to get an idea, get an analysis of, okay, now we have this information. Using this information, what we can do is we can analyze. Okay, we can analyze, we can document, and we can get future planning right. Okay, rather than depending on the ball numbers, or sometimes claims that a person might give on estimation. We can simply say, hey, no, this is a similar task that we did on that project. Okay, earlier project had the same thing. So why this project is taking much more longer time? Okay, we can argue. We have all the things tracked, well planned, well documented. So we have proof that, okay, our project has been executed. These are the time that we use to get those things executed. Now anyone else coming and saying, okay, this is taking this amount of time, or we need this amount of resources, we can say, okay, no, that is not how it was for the last project, or it was not like in this project. We had the similar project where it has this same kind of requirement, but in a scenario like that, we can, without an issue, we can say, all right, we have the history, so we know how the estimation went, how the actual task was executed, and we know for sure that this is something that we can learn upon, and we can sometimes we can um, target for less or more. Okay, sometimes there are things we need to target more. It is not always the project documentation is not always trying to reduce the time for a task. Okay, so for example, last thing I discussed, so it was like the estimation was 1 hour, but we have done it in 10 minutes, and we have exceeded by 50 hours. Okay, But the opposite was also true, right? So we were expecting a 10 minutes job, but it took us 1 year to, sorry, 1 hour job, but it took us, um, the job was, the job is 1 hour, but it took us 5 hours to complete. Okay, almost five times at almost five times as the initial estimation that we have given. Okay, so when the next planning comes in, we can simply see, okay, we have a similar task that we have did on the earlier project or earlier stages. We were expecting this amount of time, but we missed it a lot. At least by 5 times, we have miscalculated it. Now, how are we gonna rectify it? Okay, if a similar task comes and if somebody says, okay, this can be done in this can be done in 1 hour, we can simply show them, no, this is not a task for 1 hour. Why? Even though we estimated it 1 hour, there were certain hiccups. Okay, of course, those hiccups shouldn't be something like those changes shouldn't be something like, a personal one, or there is something we unexpectedly happen. For example, say for one of the developer who got sick, that's why the initial 1 hour was 5 hours. No, that's kind of not that kind of thing. But say for instance, unforeseen error occurred. Okay, while we are developing that, we encounter unforeseen error. Okay, we can say, okay, we have a but we have estimated this for 1 hour, but last time we got this error. We got a server error or we got a database error. So be careful when you estimation. Make sure you don't get this kind of errors. Okay, if you are getting this kind of errors, then make sure to add it to your estimation. Okay, so you can say, okay, last time I had a database issue, while I was doing that, that's why I missed my deadline by 5 hours. So to not to make the same mistake, what I'll do is, rather than giving in 1 hour, or maybe rather than going down that path, uh, we might come across the same issue in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to estimate a little bit more. Okay. So that there is also one good thing of project documentation. Okay. Do not think that project management, project documentation is all about reducing time. No, it is not. Okay, it cannot be done. Okay, it is not the reducing time that we need to focus. We need to focus on learning from our mistakes. Okay, if you are sorry, if you are overestimating, we need to correct that. If you are underestimating, we need to correct that one as well. Okay, so either way, the planning, the historical metrics is better for future planning and for good documentation. Okay, so by doing such thing, sorry, we can learn from our mistakes. Okay, then we will move on. So these are like clearly the project management provide us uh, a history that where we have failed and where how we have recovered. So in the next time that we are doing something same, we do not fall into the same trap. Okay. All right. Next thing is project members learn how to grow by working in across functional team environment. Cross-functional team environment. So what do you mean by that? So in within a project, of course, there is gonna be like uh, um, there is gonna be like several job roles, right? There are like there are what we call the project managers are there, project testers or QA and QA people. And there can be junior developers, senior developers. Okay, there's kind of separate layers of developers will be there. So the project members, anyone who is involved in the project, um, members learn by working in cross-functional team environments. So a developer might be working with a QA. Okay, the QA might be working with the project manager. So we get an idea, okay, idea. So how these people are working. Okay, so how a developer sees the code, or how how do they see um, how do they see a functional test is writing, this kind of thing. Okay, so by working on different team, different across the teams, we get a better understanding of our application. Okay, if you do only dev and dev only, what you will do, what will do not know is where the other things gonna be happening on, where the other teams are gonna be expecting from us. Okay, so in order to avoid such a thing, in order to avoid such scenarios, working cross-functional teams, cross-functional environments give us more and more flexibility, uh, more and more insight to our project and for its success. Okay, so project by incorporating project members into one singular board and working with those guys will probably give us a certain insight onto the project. So what we are going to do is to practice these things, how a project manager is going to do these tasks. We will do a dummy project by ourselves. Okay, so we will do a simple project management. So there will be people who are interested in QA. There are people who is interested in development. There will be people who are interested in managing these, all those things. So everything will be simulated, so you guys can get a knowledge. Okay, how do we operate under cross-functional teams? Okay, so how do developers think? QAs can get a better idea. How do the QA people thinks? Okay, how developers think, how the project managers expectation, what sort of um, roles or what sort of thing they are expecting. So all of these can be get by working with the project management tool. So it is when we are developing a software project, okay, it's not all about testing. It is not all about coding, or it is not all about architecting. Okay, it's a combination of each and everything that we talked in here. So it is a thing that we should practice all along to get things done. Okay, so we will be looking at how cross-functional team work within a single environment and get things done. Okay, so let's go to next. Uh, so a project manager is not only a person um, uh, who knows about the project itself. Okay, so do not think a project manager is a person um, is about uh, is about knowing what the project is, what the status of it, what's the state of the team is. No, that is not the behavior, or it is not the duties of a project manager. Okay, so there are other disciplines. Okay, not only the project is everything that a project manager should know. There are other disciplines a project manager should be improving. Okay, So we need, of course, the um, uh, of course, we need the metrics of a current project, how the project is, what is the status, how people are doing, what will be our next milestone, this kind of thing. A project manager should know. Okay, that is a thing that within their head that they should keep and learn. So that is all about project. What is the status of the project? How many people are working? Who is on leave? That kind of thing. Those are like typical project management. Okay, where are we at the goals and everything? And the next quality, other discipline that a project manager would need is general management. Okay, generally, how do we interact with people? How do we interact with systems? How do we interact with hardware and software? That kind of general management is something what we will be expecting from a project management. Okay, so let me give you an example. A project is going under. Everyone is working as they are supposed to. So, for example, developers are doing the coding and QAs are finding bugs. This kind of things is happening in a project. But all of a sudden, okay, all of a sudden, let's say we get some requests that is out of the project management itself. Okay, so for example, we would think like a certain laptop broke down. Okay, a certain laptop broke down. So the project manager is not gonna be like, okay, it is broken. Let's keep it that way. Oh, we don't mind about it. Let's contact tech support and how try to get it fixed. So that kind of attitude, that kind of behavior is not something that we expect from a project manager. A project manager should be equally knows about how to handle such a scenario. Okay, how to handle in such a scenario to overcome these things. Okay, so if something goes wrong that is not related to project, but a general knowledge, a general management knowledge should be there. Okay, how we can get it done. So one of the most common thing or a general thing for a project manager is to manage human resources. Okay, how do we manage human resources? Okay, so one person is asking for a leave, another person is also asking for the same leave. You can't expect to favor one another. Okay, that is not general management. In general management, we should think about okay, who need the most priority, and we can grant them the leave. Okay, we can approve at least. We might not be able to grant the leave, but we might be in a position. The project manager or the PM is in a position where he can issue a or he can approve a leave request. Okay, so that's kind of general management. By not doing any favors to anyone else, but not by not exploiting someone in the team or doing something like that, we can a project manager should have a general knowledge how to handle such HR issues. Okay, how to manage those things. So there are sometimes the project manager involved. It's not like in personal way, but in a way they involve saying, okay, that person is taking a leave on that day. Can you shift it for the next day? Okay, we can ask politely. Okay, so that's kind of general management management, general management things are expected from a project manager. It's not always going to be making softwares. Okay, it is not that. We should have a general knowledge on general knowledge on people, how do they react, how they're going to work. This kind of thing is what we call a general management. So these disciplines should be there. Okay, general management. So uh, one one of the things that I have seen in my time is as a project manager on some projects, what I see is like some people are trying to exploit what we give. Okay, so for a reason, there were some colleagues actually when they need a leave or when they need a day off, they bring the same wrong or the false accusation or um, false reason for taking the leave. Okay, it's not ours to ask like, okay, what is the reason? What is when you will be back? You know, it's someone's right to take leave, so they should be able to take. But if the person is a, a if that person is someone who is needed within that working week, okay, if that person have a certain knowledge or a um, certain thing, certain contribution that is needed for the project, and he's gonna take in a leave on a critical moment, like for example, we are going live tomorrow, but the lead developer also want a leave tomorrow. Okay, so we should be able to identify what is important, and we need to make sure we address those things in a way that people would not get upset about it. Okay, so for example, in this scenario, we have two ways to go. Uh, we can say them, okay, this is not gonna work. You have to work tomorrow. That kind of thing is not allowed. You took a what do you call uh, vacation or holiday like 2 days ago. Now you asking again. That is not acceptable. That kind of approach is there. Another approach is would be, okay, that's fine. You take your leave, but remember there is a release upcoming tomorrow. If you are able, please let's take the leave on another day. After we do the release, if you can, let's do the next thing. Uh, uh, After that release is done, you take your leave. So you should be generally understand the situation of not only machines, not only the project, okay, but also in general how to interact with people and how to make them work in a safe and happy environment. Okay, so that is one of the most important thing all the projects managers should consider, the general knowledge. Okay, general management knowledge. Okay, next thing that we need to talk, what are the things that a PM should know, a personal manager should know, that is the application area of the project. Okay, so as a project manager, don't expect, okay, it's your job to look at what is the deadline and check whether the deadlines are met, the people are talking. No, that is not what a project manager's job is all about. Okay, so there are application domain, okay, application areas of the project the project manager should be aware on those things. Okay. If we are building a banking application, the project manager should not talk about e-commerce application. Okay. The person who is doing these tasks should have at least a good knowledge on the application that they are developing. And when we are developing such application, what are the things that we are using, what are the technologies, what are the business word, what sort of um, what sort of things like abbreviations that we are using within the application. All those things should be known um, as a part of the application knowledge area. Okay, it is not just seeing tools and checking, okay, the task is done. Okay, now I'm gonna take my leave, or I'm gonna sleep until next sprint is starting. No, that is not what we expecting from project manager. So the project manager should have a good idea of the project or the application that we are about to develop or deploy. Okay, so there is like other related disciplines a project manager should have. Okay, so we talked about what is project management and what are the other disciplines the project management should have. These are like the common things that we have, okay, as a project management. Why do we need? You can straightly say this. Apart from that, we need other disciplines. So these are like general management, application area, and the project area. So all those things mixed together, we get a good project manager. Okay. All right. Any questions, guys, up until this? You guys have any questions? Okay. Okay. Uh, okay. If there is not, I will stop the recording. Stop recording button. Oh, let's see.